First off, thank you so much for having me back. Good evening, by the way. Thank you for coming to the webinar. I just wanted to touch on a couple points with this, right? I can't tell you how important freelancing is, but then working with others. The whole point is that you have a zone of genius. You have something that you are really good at. Now, if you're like me and there's a lot of other people just like me, you're versatile, meaning that you're good at a lot of things. I want you to take everything that you're good at and lay it out. And here's the funny part. I know this is a recording, but we're actually going to take a second. Take a moment and in the chat, let's type in what are some things that you're good at. Now, I won't be able to respond, so I'm not a mind reader and going to guess everything that people are good at, right? But I want you to take a moment, actually think through everything that you're good at. And then here's what you do you put it on a list. So take everything, keep dropping in the chat, by the way, drop everything in the chat, everything on the list that you're good at. Now, here's a thing called the Pareto principle, which I'm not going to go into the crazy details of it, but it's an 80-20 principle, meaning 80% of what you're doing gets you about 20% of results. And there's stuff that you're really good at, about 20% of what you're doing, that actually gets you the 80% results. So here's the thing. If you listed 10 skills on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? You didn't think I can count, by the way. I saw you. Think about this. Out of all 10 skills, your top 2 skills probably get you the most results possible. So here's what I'm going to challenge everyone else. Put them on a piece of paper, either now or afterwards, right? If you pause this or not. And then I want you to put them all in order. I want you to circle your top 3 and then choose 2 skills from there. And then those 2 skills, I want you to drop in the chat, top 2. So put the words top 2 and then what those skills are. What are your top 2 skills? Here's the reason why. If you are good at sales, then you're probably not good at fulfilling or talking to clients on there, right? Maybe talking to clients, but not actually doing the work. Now, you could also be opposite. What happens if you're really good at doing the work, like go high level graphic design and everything else, but you don't know how to sell? The reason why this matters is because you need to be able to know who you are and how you complement a team on there. So if you've ever played a sport like basketball, let's say, right, and you're the one that can block all the shots, you're probably not good at shooting the three-pointer. But the complete opposite, if you're really good at shooting the three-pointer, you probably can't dunk. That's why they have to be in a team. And this is what you want to focus on when you're focused on your skills with everything else, is making sure that you're on a team and you're actually focused on that. So here's some of the things about, like, when it comes to freelancing secrets now, is that you want to understand why businesses are going to hire freelancers. Think about that. They are hiring you to do one thing: save time or make money, right? So here's the thing with any job that you ever do: how am I saving them time or how am I making them money? You have to do one of those 2 things on there. That's the way that you're going to be more valuable to anyone else when you're doing this. So when you're also thinking about the key skills being able to hire, you have to have a very high English proficiency. It doesn't mean that you can't have an accent. You can definitely have an accent, but you want to be able to have proficiency so you understand the culture and the understanding about who you're working with and so forth, wherever you're working out. And if you really want to stand out as a freelancer, you really have to show a strong personal brand, being like, I know what I'm talking about, and people listen to me for what I'm talking about. And if you don't have that yet, we can grow that. We can help you to grow that. And then also portfolio. So for instance, I'm just going to rattle off a couple things. If you're really, really good at sales, show a couple sales calls, right? Blur out other people's names for sensitive data, or show that you can talk through sales, or that you can talk through sales framework. If you're go high level, do a Loom video walking through a go high level account. You can hide probably the sidebar and like the person's name, so we don't have to see your client's name. But like, walk us through one of your client's accounts. If you're really good at graphic design, shows everything you've done in a portfolio that you've graphic designed, and it is good to bunch it. So if you've done a whole bunch of websites, put websites together. If you've done logos, put logos. Don't do like website logo. Bunch them up so we can see, like, wow, you are really good at what you do. If you're a great writer, show that you're a great writer. Show us your work. That's going to move a lot further ahead as you move forward. The other part about this is that if you want to position yourself as an expert, you have to really understand the pain points of who you're helping out. So if you're going to work with a marketing agency, why are they going to hire you and how will you make an impact? And I'm going to challenge you to do this. Ready? Ask them, hey, by working on your team, how will I have the biggest impact on your team? What would that look like? And so that's how you really want to build that on there. The other part is just networking and getting in there and making sure that you can really stand out in front of people. So those are some of the things I want you to focus on when we move through this on here. Okay, couple other key parts as we move through this. When you're talking about freelance and everything else, it's about positioning. You are on a call right now with other people that probably have similar skills. Who would we choose on there? And really think about that. I'm not trying to say that you're competing against someone else. You are competing against yourself, but you have to stand out every single day. I run a marketing agency, and we've done dentists, we've done several different niches and industries before. Why should they hire me versus anyone else in the world? You have to be able to position yourself. The same thing with your skill set. Why should they hire you for your skill set versus hiring anyone else? Something to think about as you're moving forward with this, right? And you want to position yourself that you know what they're doing. So here's the thing. I can go hire anyone right now, give them a step-by-step checklist, and they can go and do that. Cool. How valuable is that? It saves me time, but you know who's a little bit more better than a task person I can knock out tasks, which is important, by the way. So if you're a task person, no harm, no foul. But you know what happens when I give someone a problem, and that's the task. Go solve this problem for me. And then that's what they have to focus on. They have to go solve a problem. Like, hey, go get me more leads, make this landing page better, a smoother sequence, do something for the client that, solves this problem for them. The client's suffering from this. How do we solve that? You can solve that. Your value went from task taker now up to problem solver. Now, you ready for this? What happens when you get a run? And here's the thing. As virtual assistants and remote professionals from the Philippines, I can't tell you how many people I put in roles where they have managed a whole entire agency before. They were operators, meaning they oversaw the whole entire team, even the US-based team. They oversaw everyone because they understood how to move resources and do that. So think about what level you are and what you want to do, and how would you get to the highest level? So here's something to think about. As you're moving forward with this, right? You could go from, just designing the work. What happens if you match a team of designers? And so now you got 50 things on your plate for this week that need to be designed, and you disperse those 50 things to several other designers. And guess what happens if they all do a great job and they all get it done? How more valuable are you? So I want you to think at a bigger scale than yourself. How do you fit in the team, and how do you scale up in a team? I want you to really think about that. That's where the most value is going to come into play. I'm going to take a moment really quick. And there's a book that I would strongly recommend. You can probably find a free version. You can find YouTube videos or something. His name is Dan Martell, Martell. And the book is called Buy Back Your Time. The reason why Buy Back Your Time is such an important book on there is that if you learn that, and whoever you're working with or anything else also understands those principles, you're going to be able to delegate effectively on there. And then you can also take what they're doing on their plate that you know how to do and take it off their plate, and now you become way more valuable because now you're a key asset in the business. So you really need to understand, where do you fit in the business? Do you help them save time, or do you help them make money? Which one of those two are you actually helping them to do? So I would really want you to stay in there and everything else. The other skill sets, I'm just going to rattle off a couple right now, that I think would be really important to learn how to build an SOP, a standard operating procedure. If you understand how to build an SOP, then you'll be able to delegate and build better systems. I can't tell you how many people run agencies and don't have great systems because they don't know how to document, being writing down a process that's step by step. Here's the thing. Most people, and this is a myth, if you write down a process, then we can replace you in your job, is what every single person thinks. That is false. And here's the reason why. If you are the only one that's building the SOPs and everything else, and they were to replace you because you built out all your SOPs, well, who's going to build the next SOPs? Who's going to keep growing them? It's not going to be you, and you'll find way more value in there. There are people that I work with right now that's 100% their job. They just document what everyone else is doing and keep building higher up. So imagine if you start in a role right now, you document the whole process, you can teach other people to do that role, you actually move up in the company. Now you teach someone how to do that job, you move up in the company. And so you can keep moving up and keep doing a lot of great things. So don't stay in that mode of, oh, I just can't do this or anything else. And guess what? If you build an SOP and everything else, I don't care what any agency owner tells you. If it's not proprietary to them, it's not stealing or anything else. I'm not telling you to do that. Take the SOP, and now you have a catalog of stuff that you know how to do and that you can train other people how to do. So now you become way more valuable. And so that's just something to think about as you move forward with this. So one other tip that I just want to share is that, who do you think, okay, if we have 100 people right now on this call and everything else, right? And I don't know how many people are showing up, if there's 100, 2, whatever it may be, right? If you have 100 people on this call right now, how would you stand out in front of everyone else? Think about it. Is it the person that has their camera off? Because right now, without even knowing who's on the camera and anything else, if everyone has their camera off and everything else, are they standing out, or are they just kind of buried with the photo, or no photo at all? So they're already out. So now you're probably down to like 10 people on the call, maybe even less than that. Think about that, right? So now this would be a time to turn your cameras on, say what's up to everyone else, right? Say, hey, how's it going, right? You guys are late at night, so you're ready to party. Let's go. What is it? Monday night party? Let's go. But it's those people that are in there attentive and even nodding your head on camera and visual shows that you're paying attention. So that's step one. Step two, the people that win the most are the ones that ask the questions. So if you're asking questions, that means that you're asking for clarity. If you're asking for clarity, that is kindness because that's helping to bridge the gap of the stuff. Now, here's the thing. If I gave you a problem to go solve, I said, hey, can you go make this ad campaign better? And you go, yes, I'll go make the campaign better. Do I know that you know what you're really doing? Now, what happens if I say, hey, go make this campaign better? And you came back with 5 questions and you said, well, what's wrong with the campaign? Do I have access? What would be a win for you? And you ask other questions on there. And guess what? You can probably ask ChatGPT for some answers or like questions to ask as well to get more clarity. Who am I going to trust more? The person that says, cool, got it, and they run away? Or am I going to trust the person that has actually taken the action to ask more questions and have more confidence that they know what they're doing? You have to ask questions on there. The other thing that's happening, you have to take action. Meaning, forgive me for this. Now, I'm not saying to stay up all night because I know it's late right now, but you have to take the time to actually move through and take action. I look at my day. So here's the thing. Let's do a challenge right now. We're at 9 p.m., right? We're at like, 9:11 right now, 9:15 at night. I want to challenge you that you lay out the next 3 things that you need to do tomorrow that are most important things. Not like cleaning your bedroom, nothing else that will make a difference. Reaching out to these people, learning the skill, asking questions as a group. What are the top 3 things you can do to move your career forward? I would challenge you this. Those top three things are way more important than everything else that you're doing. What happens if you had a list of 10 things, but you only focus on the top 2 to 3 things every day? You would still move forward. You don't have to do 10 things to be successful. You can do 2 or 3 things to be successful. My favorite one that I'll use with you right now is that tons of things on my plate, right? As I always do, and that's just my own personal thing. I'll put 100 things on my plate. I will circle 3 things. And you know what 3 things were that day when I circled them? They were all sales calls. You know what's the coolest part about those sales calls? One was $1,000, one was two, and one was $8,000. By doing those 3 sales calls, right, and I closed 2 out of the 3, so I actually closed $9,000. It's kind of crazy. I closed the top 2, not the bottom one, right? By closing $9,000, was checking my email more important than that? Than closing 9,000 was checking my social media, was moving and organizing files? No, the most important thing I can do was making $9,000 for monthly recurring revenue so that my team can do other things. So understand, where are you in the ecosystem? How are you? Start where you are, right? And you can move up from there. So don't think that you're going to be stuck in this level that you're at right now or intern or anything else. You can get to the top of a company. It's just your own personal belief and confidence in yourself. So I would definitely love for you to see this and everything else. Drop in the group right on there. Questions you have, everything else. Make sure to get it to the team. And if the team will get those questions meet, I will get an answer back to you. I'm super excited for you. You have to be taking action on this. You have to move forward and set an intention. What do you want to be by 2026 of next year? February 17th of 2026, where do you want to be? And set some audacious goal where it would make you like, well, I don't even know that's possible. I want that goal from you, and then I want to see how we can achieve it together. Much love. I appreciate all of you. Can't wait to hear from every single one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later.